Are you sick of spotting scopes? Well, the Caldwell target camera just might be what you're looking for. The nice thing about spotting scopes is you have a nice high power optic to see your target downrange. But the one problem with that is that I'm looking through my scope and then I've got to kind of move and then look through a spotting scope to see what's going on. Now, the one thing I like about the target camera is that I can have my iPad sitting right in front of me, and then I can see where my shots are landing without having to do, look through my optic and then come out and look through another optic. I can just stay on my rest, and then I can just look over, and then with my fingers I can zoom in and do all kinds of things on my iPad to see where my shots are going. Now, before I tear this down to do the benchtop, I want to go over a couple of things. This camera is an IP-based camera. This is really essentially a wireless router. Now, these are off-the-shelf components that Caldwell used. Now, being off-the-shelf components has its advantages because Caldwell can put a package together really quick and then bring it to market. If you were to buy these components separately, it would cost you a lot more than just buying the kit. This kit's about $250 and it does include a carrying case and a tripod. Now, one of the things about this camera is it's only 720p. I do wish they had an HD, a full HD, or possibly a 4K camera now that the 4K cameras are coming out. But this is great because it leaves Caldwell an upgrade option for you that you could just unplug this camera and they could come out with another camera. You can plug it in and upgrade the kit to have a higher resolution camera. Now, this spot right here is the actual camera, and down here is your infrared sensors. So this does do night vision, and I'll have a little video down in the corner there of me doing some pistol practice in low light here in the studio. Now, this camera just clamps onto this tripod, and looking at this tripod is funny is because it looks like the exact same tripod that my two lights here in the studio are standing on. So there's nothing special about this tripod. It's not the greatest tripod in the world, but it's not the worst either. You might have to sandbag this if you're at the range and you're in high winds, because you can see here, it'll get a little wobbly. Now, obviously, if you keep this as low as possible, it's going to be affected by the wind the least amount. Now, this particular range camera will go out to 440 yards. They have another range camera that goes out to 1 mile. What essentially they do is they throw another one of these routers on, and the two routers are talking to each other, so they have the higher power, and then you're connecting to the one closest to you. So let me tear this down and let's look at it on the bench. Okay. Now this is your basic setup here. You have the camera, the tripod, the router, and then in the case here, you also have your charging cable. Now on the bottom of this, you can see here, it'll say auxiliary power, which that's for if you're plugging into an external power source, because you don't have to power this just by battery. If you're close enough to power, you can get another adapter. It's not available from Caldwell, but you can find them online where you can plug this into a power source. And then here's your plugs for your camera, which you can see. You have your RJ45, which is your network cable, and then your power cable, and these will just plug right in. And then from here you have your charge port. And then you also have your power, which you can see right now it's powered up. If I put this to the center position, it'll power it down. And then I'm not sure because I don't have an external power source, but I think if you put it into this other position, it should power it off of this rather than the battery. Now, putting this on your tripod is real simple. I mean, it just threads right on to the tripod. So if you have any type of studio gear like I do, you can use any of your tripods for that. You can also buy these tripods on Amazon, so if for some reason you break a tripod, they're not hard to get. Now you can see everything kind of just fits into place here, which I'm going to put my power cord here and unplug the camera, and it is turned off. That'll fit in there. And then on this clamp, the camera just simply unscrews, and you can stow your camera there, and the clamp can just go right in here. And then, you just kind of put your cable away. And that's the basics of stowing the gear. Your tripod will go into a pouch right here. And then they even kind of give you a spike that if you have to spike this down. Now, my range is pretty rocky, so I probably wouldn't use the spike, but some sandbags would be kind of nice to have if you have a rocky range like I do. So let's talk about this app really quick. It's available on Android or iOS, so if you have an Android phone or an Apple phone or an Android tablet or an iPad, you're good. And what you'll do is you'll connect Wi-Fi to that router. And it'll look like something like transmitter 000 something, and it'll have a number there. So you'll connect Wi-Fi to that. And then what will happen is you'll launch the application and then click connect. And then you'll see the video there. Now I have the target cam just off camera here pointing against the wall to a couple of Mantis targets that I have. And if I just pinch out, you can see it kind of zooms out. So that way I have the screen filling up. Now you'll be able to see the hits up against the target. But what about doing your groupings? This thing can calculate your groupings, but you are going to need to know a couple of things about your target. Now you're going to need to know the distance of 2 points on your target. Now up here in your app, there's this little square. You'll click on it and it'll turn to a ruler. And you will pick 2 points on your target, and it'll draw a line and bring something up that says group size, scale in inches. Now, this is where you put how far away those 2 points are. And I know on this target, it's 4 inches. So now it knows how to do the math of your hits. So let's just say I have a hit here, and a hit here, and a hit there. And you'll see down the bottom here, it'll say group size, and it's 0.87 inches. Now, if I click over here, I can click and grab one of these little pluses there. And if I was wrong, you can click and move these things around to get right on to the actual hits of your target. Now up here, you'll have the little cog, and you can see that you can do your recordings. I have it set for 5 minutes at high resolution. You can do 2 minutes, 1 minute, and 30 seconds. Now, all you have to do is click the little camera, and it'll start filming for whatever that time frame is. Now, if you click it again, it'll stop, and it'll say recording saved. That way you know that the recording had happened. Now, if you hit the little camera, it'll just take a quick screenshot. And then if you just hit the undo arrow there, you can see it's undoing everything that I did. So that's the app. It's not a very sophisticated app, but it gets the job done. Now, is it the most sexiest app that I've seen on a device? No, it could use a little refinement, but it's not bad. It'll get you to what you need to do. So there's the target cam. Let's hear you in the comments down below what you think of this device. Thanks for watching. Hope you're staying safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.